Hey guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your host, Nick Knack, coming at you guys. This week, I know what you guys are thinking right now. Nick Knack, you sick frickin' monkey. What are you doing with a large bottle of Jergens lotion and a jar of petroleum jelly? Well, I'm gonna tell you guys something. I have got a Hot Toys figure this week that just might make you guys, as well as me, completely nerdgasm. That's right, I'm gonna be reviewing the 1/6 scale Darth Vader from The Empire Strikes Back from Hot Toys. This thing is going to be awesome. I have waited over a year to get this thing in my collection, and here he is right now. So, you know what? We're just going to be on the safe side here, guys. We're going to get lots and lots of lube. I mean, we're going to really get it going here, guys, because this thing is going to be awesome. We are going to love this thing.
Nick Knack's Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Nick Knack!
Alrighty, well, holy hell! Look at the size of this box as we have now removed the Empire Strikes Back Hot Toys Darth Vader from its protective shipper. And look at that. I'd left that Diet Coke can in there, my beloved brown nectar of the gods in there just for scale purposes, just so you guys can see how massive this box is for this figure. And here, I'll give it a little side twirl just so you can see the depth of it. Look how thick that thing is. That thing is a huge Hot Toys figure, and you know it's big because it's accommodating that awesome Bespin stand. I just cannot wait to get in there and take a look at it. This thing is just awesome, and it's just teasing me right now. It's like the giant box your dad left behind the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. You know there's some good shit in there, don't you? All right, well, let's get this thing open right now. Alrighty, so I've removed the outer cover for you guys just to reveal that inside box art. I am just so taken away at how giant this box is for a Hot Toys figure. I mean, it's just huge. It reminds me of the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. I feel like I should be like running around smashing bones or something in awe of this giant monstrosity of a Hot Toys package. Alrighty, well, hey, let's go ahead and get this thing open right now. Oh, there it is. And of course, as you can see, we do have it is still in its packaging here, and we get a lot of glare coming off that clamshell, as always, but a lot of accessories to look at. And look, oh my god, look at all those goddamn watch batteries. This thing's gonna suck to put together. Alrighty guys, so I'm putting this beast together, and the first thing I'm going to do is put together the huge stand that it comes with, the big Bespin reactor chamber stand. And you're going to want to get out the directions. You really are. Just, peruse them. You're probably a pretty smart person, and you probably wouldn't wreck it. But yeah, it's always best to be safe than sorry, I always say. And the directions kind of slows me down a little bit, I find, when I'm reading the directions. It's kind of important to kind of take these things a little slow, because you're so excited getting this stuff out of the box. I totally get that. It's like freaking Christmas morning, 1987 all over again, when you're just opening up your Nintendo Entertainment System for the first time, and you almost can't stand it because you've been waiting months for it. Well, this is a lot like that in adult form. However, you do want to take your time, and you do want to do it right, because you're dealing with some pretty kind of flimsy stuff here. These railings here are one thing. These remind me a lot of the Polystone scale Sideshow diorama that I own over here, the I Am Your Father Polystone diorama that Sideshow put out a number of years ago. That was a pain in the ass to put together because all these railings on that one was polystone. Fortunately, here we are dealing with plastic, but nevertheless, yeah, do take your time. It looks like they went ahead and gave you a nice little protective plastic cover there, so that you just remove this and then you can fit it onto the base, which I'll show you guys here in just a second. Alrighty, and same thing here with installing these girders. Look at the detailing on that, where Vader, you know, cut that girder in half when fighting Luke just before he cut off his hand. Look at the detail on that, and look at the lights. Oh, this looks fantastic, absolutely awesome. So again, there's some sliders there on the back, you'll see, and then of course there's some insert tabs there, and I believe you just, if I'm not mistaken, just slide it over real nice and easy. Oh, that fits on real good. Real nice and snug. Look at that. Looking great. Look at how awesome this thing is. I mean, that's pretty damn big. I mean, here it is with my Diet Coke. That's looking great. Wow. What a really cool piece so far. Really impressed. This is absolutely living up to the billing as an awesome Hot Toys piece. Alright, now getting more into the guts of the figure itself, now that I've completely assembled the stand, I'm going to want to be real careful again, taking this guy out of the package. It looks like he's very well packed, but with a lot of packaging comes a lot of the ability to potentially wreck a figure, which is really nerve-wracking. So I'm going to take some careful time getting this out. Just another note just another thing of note. Look at all the hand poses you get with this guy. Just like almost going back to Sideshow Collectibles Darth Vader version 1.0, the one I have on my back shelf way back there. You get a lot of different hand gestures, which is cool because you want to have Darth Vader in a fist, pointing, using the Force, holding a saber, etc. So really cool. And look at that. Look at that, you got the one here. It looks like there's got another electronic lightsaber to work with. That's always good and bad. So anyway, all right, well, let's get to work, guys. I'm gonna get this thing out and set up and get all these little baggies and whatnot off of them very carefully. I'm not gonna show that on vid because I've done that in the past. I don't want to be too redundant with these Hot Toy reviews. But anyway, so I'll carefully get him out, and you guys will see him next set up, and we'll be ready to put some batteries in, hopefully. All right, so I've removed him from the packaging, and I gotta say it was actually very easy to slip the plastic booties and gloves and stuff off of him. Came off very easily. His dome did come off his head as I removed him, so you got to be kind of careful of that, not to drop your dome anywhere. Make sure you're sitting down at a table doing this. But nevertheless, look how shiny this figure is. This is an amazing Darth Vader figure. This might be the grail as far as 1/6 scale Darth Vaders go. And I use the term grail so... I don't like that term very much. A grail is something that's supposed to be something that's almost unattainable. Like a realistic grail for me would be to own a 1/1 scale or life-size Darth Vader, like the one Sideshow sells for like $10,000. That would be a grail because it's almost basically unattainable unless it's like the cost of a used car basically. And that's just way too much for me to ever want to spend on a collectible, provided I don't come into a large sum of money, which is not incredibly likely. But nevertheless, I use the term grail. I don't throw that term around very much. But in 1/6 scale, this is almost a grail. He just looks absolutely amazing. Look how shiny his armor is. Look how you can see my studio lights reflecting in his armor there. Looks absolutely amazing. His suit, his cape, just flows off of him so beautifully. His undercape or his undercloak fits very nice. The boots look great. They almost have the bottom of the boots almost have like it's hard to see on camera, but it almost has like a leather feel to it almost. Absolutely awesome. And then of course the shin armor just glistens in the studio lights here. Just looking so amazing. So anyway, let's get this guy set up for you guys on his stand, and I'll get my ugly mug out of the shop so you can enjoy this figure as it should be without me holding him. And we'll try to get the electronics going on him, and then I'll also show you the various hand poses that he has, which is absolutely incredible. If you look, his hands kind of crimped there. That's so he can kind of hold his belt, in the very Vader-esque way, as Vader always held his belt. And he was like just standing around posturing, looming over imperial officers and whatnot, sitting at a console. Just this is going to be an amazing looking figure. I'm really excited, guys. Alrighty, well I have laid out all of his different hand accessories on the table here, in addition to his 2 lightsabers, which of course include the standard hilt, and then of course the electronic hilt, which is attached to the forearm to accommodate the batteries, which go in there. We'll mess with that here in a second and probably swear up a storm. The really cool thing with Hot Toys figures as of late that I've really enjoyed and I've demonstrated in every single one of my review videos is this swinging blade effect. Look how you kind of just motion that around. I love that. I do this every time, but I just can't get over how cool that is. What an awesome added effect that is. How much life that gives your figure on a shelf to kind of throw that to kind of have your lightsaber in like a state of perpetual motion. Just very, very cool. Like I said, about every kind of hand gesture you'd want under the sun. A giant pack of watch batteries, horrible watch batteries that will probably last about three minutes turned on until they start fading out. Nevertheless, for the sake of this review, we're going to give it the best college try we can to get these in and to get them working for you guys. And of course, what else we got here? We got some spare pegs. And it also comes with, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to zoom in on this, but nevertheless, there are some like spare silver tabs. I believe they are what goes in his belt right there. So you get a couple spares of that, which is really nice. And yeah, that's about it. But nevertheless, really cool. And of course, here is the figure himself, looking menacing on that awesome display stand. Looking really, really good. You know what? The one thing I was noticing when I was setting him up, I'm not entirely 100% sure I'm sold on his dome. There's something aesthetically off about it. At least in my opinion, I'm not sure. You guys might know better. Go ahead and comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. Something just looks not quite right with it, which is disappointing. Because, God, Darth Vader is impossible to get absolutely 100% correct. You know, if you follow Star Wars comic books like I have for a number of years, you know, going back to Marvel, to the original Marvel, even Dark Horse comics, and then of course in Marvel now, artists have such a hard time capturing the lines of symmetry on Darth Vader's helmet. And you know, maybe action figure sculptors have that same issue as well, because to me, something just looks slightly off. I can't put my finger on it. Nevertheless, everything else looks good. His tusks on the front of his face guard look fine. I always check those. I got my premium format Darth Vader, my original Sideshow premium format Darth Vader, when I first got it in the mail, had a broken tusk, and there was nothing worse than taking him out of the box and realizing I had a broken tusk. So now every time I get a Darth Vader, I always check the tusks. His tusks look fine. You'll notice his chest box there, really, really cool. I don't know if we can focus in on that, but you know, it's got the Star Wars language on that. What is that, Aeroboosh or something? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I might be totally butchering that, but it's got that on there. I don't think the camera's going to zoom in on it for you. It's so small. Nevertheless, the details are really, really cool. I'm thinking this is going to look really, really cool lit up. We'll find out here in a second. But yeah, overall general impressions are the figure is pretty awesome. My camera will focus in for you. There you go. The figure is pretty awesome. Outside of just some minor aesthetics issues, maybe. Kinda? I don't know. Alrighty, well, when I said you needed to use a precision screwdriver, I meant you really do need to use a precision screwdriver. I had to use one of the smaller ones in my set. Now, these are only like $2 at your local Walmart or hardware store, so it's not a big deal to get a set of these if you don't have one already. If you're a Hot Toys collector, you probably do. But nevertheless, I had to use one of the smaller ones, but one that had enough size on it so I could get enough torque, because actually the screws on these belt boxes were actually pretty tight, which is really, really annoying. But anyway, as you can see, I got the cover off. I did install the batteries. Do check the directions when you install them so you don't do them wrong. And as you can see, they do light up real nice. That is a really nice green glow to it. And that red light on there, really, really nice. The on-off switch down here, of course. So we'll flip that off, and then you can see the difference there. And of course, over here we have one already turned on and installed on his belt. So, I mean, looking really, really nice, but, you know, just because of the sheer inconvenience of having to put these little tiny batteries in there and then trying to find those in a store, too, because they are small. They are little, tiny little things. They're like the size of ants, man. Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass. And I mean, let me tell you guys right now, go ahead and sign up below in the comments section for a Knickknacks brain surgery, because after installing those batteries in these little belt boxes, I'm qualified, man. I got surefire, steady hands, man. fan. No, actually, I'm all thumbs. I did manage to do it, so I'm sure you guys can do it as well. Nevertheless, what a pain in the ass. All right, guys, I'm going to be checking out this chest control box next and see what, if anything, lights up on that. Alrighty, so next up, to get that chest control piece lit up, we gotta go upskirting on Lord Vader here, which I really hate doing. Of course, I flipped up his cape, and you pull up the undercloak, and then there's a control box under there. Of course, once again, with a small screw hole there that you gotta manipulate with your precision screwdriver, and of course, a small compartment for batteries. So once again, I'm gonna do this off screen for you guys to spare you my horrible frustration I'm sure I'm about to endure doing this, being that I don't want to take it off the figure itself. No, I don't think you can take it off the figure itself in order to do this, so I have to carefully maneuver this while handling the figure, which is something you don't want to do. You don't want to be manhandling your Hot Toys figures too much. So again, that kind of sucks. Thank you very much, Hot Toys. Alrighty, so I'm going to install this and we'll see what it does. Alrighty, so I have removed the top cover to the battery compartment here and installed the batteries properly. If you want to know which direction to put the batteries in, just think non-worded side down. There's little words on the top of the batteries. Actually, those are actually the bottom, so that those go down, and then so that's how the batteries go in. A little trick to remember. Anyway, so I've installed that, and I did use a little tiny pillow here to kind of brace my Vader on. So while I was messing with the screwdriver, I wasn't pressing it into anything, and that way I could get some torque on the screwdriver. So I used this pillow here, which worked really nice. And of course, as you can see, when we hit the on button here, there it is. That looks pretty nice though. Look at that. Look at the pattern there. Very nice patterning in the light. Very, very cool. But again, what a pain in the ass. And truthfully, how viable is this as a display option if these batteries don't last for shit, and they're also such a pain in the ass to turn off and on. I mean, it's cool. You can have your friend come down, show them it really fast, but then make sure you get it off just as quick, because those batteries are going to die. And what a pain in the ass they are to install. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and replace the battery cover back on, turn it off for now, and we'll get going, and we'll do the lightsaber effect next. Oh, this is so fun, so fun. Actually, it makes me feel really inadequate installing these batteries. Just feel like an ass that something so simple is kind of hard. Alrighty, so check this out. It wouldn't be a Hot Toys figure if it wasn't an unnecessary or seemingly unnecessary pain in the ass to install the batteries for the light up lightsaber effect. However, this figure is carrying on that tradition quite wonderfully here. As you can see, you actually have to split the glove itself open like this per the directions here. As you can see, you split the glove itself open. Let's try to do this without breaking it, and take it apart like so, maybe. Oh, so that's nice too. Look, the on-off switch is inside of this mess, right there, if you can see it. So you take this off somehow. Alrighty, so it doesn't seem like it comes all the way off. You just kind of spread it open there and install these batteries like so. So I'm going to go ahead and get off camera one more time, install these batteries for you guys, and show you guys the light up effect. Lightsaber on this guy, which I'm sure is magnificent, but incredibly impragmatic. Is that a word to use? Non-practical? Unpractical to use? All right. Well, okay, I'll see you guys in a sec. Alrighty, so I have successfully installed the batteries here, and once again, a good trick to remember that I've kind of taught myself here is the batteries go label side towards the spring inside of there, because it really sucks having to do and redo this a couple times when you don't put the batteries in correctly. So that's a frustration. So anyway, you've got to pull this thing apart to turn on. You got to pull this glove thing apart to turn on the switch. There's the switch. That looks really nice. I don't complain about the light up features themselves. Like I've said on a couple of these figures now, it's just the execution of the figures of the features themselves that drive me crazy. So anyway, let's get a saber on this thing and see how good it looks. I'm sure it's going to look great. So here's the swinging light up effect. Let's go ahead and hit that battery button again, see how good this looks. Yeah, looks really nice. I dig it. I dig it a lot. But I'm not going to be displaying this figure with this feature at all, because
it's just not worth it. It's totally not worth it. It's something I don't use. It's something I can't enjoy just because of how difficult it is to turn the switch on and off. So yeah, especially this one with this glove gimmick here, which I appreciate it, Hot Toys. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to make these things seamless and to hide the electronic applications so it doesn't bulk up the figure or make the figure look non-screen accurate. I get it. I appreciate it. But you know what? At this point, I'd rather just not pay for these gimmicks at all and knock $40 off the cost of the figure, or $30 or whatever it is. I don't know. It's not my business, but I'm not in the action figure producing business. But I imagine you could knock a couple, $20, $30, $40 off the cost of these figures just to leave out these electronic applications that, from a practical standpoint, sitting on a shelf, are almost entirely worthless. So anyway, that's my piece on this one. I'm sure the next Hot Toys figure, I'll be bitching about the same thing, because that's what I do over and over again, is bitch about the electronics on these things. But nevertheless, that is where we are at. Alrighty guys, one more time, and here's the stationary blade on here. Again, I'm not installing this on my figure for this review. I just want to give you guys a nice look at it. I turned the studio lights down in here a little bit, so maybe the details aren't popping as well, but the light should be shining through. And again, it looks really, really good. I really like it. I could go on and on. Alrighty guys, so I've got mine all set up here. This is how I'm going to probably be displaying him inside of a detolf over here. I've got him in what I would think would be kind of the iconic pose from The Empire Strikes Back, particularly if you're talking about this particular display stand, as he is, revealing the true lineage of Luke Skywalker here to young Luke Skywalker, as he is precariously balanced out on that gantryway or catwalk or whatever it was in the Bespin reaction chamber from that incredibly amazing scene from Empire Strikes Back that everyone, of course, remembers. So anyway, so this is kind of where I'm going with him. A couple other things of note on this figure. I did mention, do be careful when you're setting him up. This helmet does come off really easily. The top dome of the helmet does. And a couple of things of note. The back of his head is actually very, very cool. I didn't show that off yet. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. You can see all the scarring and the paleness of the back of his head. There isn't a full reveal on this figure, just to note. Other figures do come with an alternative head sculpt, where you have the alternative or revealed Anakin Skywalker feature. This does not have that, which kind of makes sense actually, because we were talking about The Empire Strikes Back, and in that film, all we did see in the meditation chamber when General Veers comes in, as his helmet is coming down, or as his dome is coming down, is the back of his head. So kind of makes sense for an Empire Strikes Back figure in my opinion. So I don't have a problem with not having multiple head sculpts on this, and if it keeps the price point down a little bit, because it's an expensive figure anyway. Another head sculpt would probably push this thing up north of $300. So I'm fine with that. I think that's absolutely fine. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and light all this up for you guys, so you guys can check that out. I really have dubbed this figure Duracell Darth, because he came with so many goddamn batteries. As you can see right here, I've got them all installed. They're all out of there. And of course the 3 AAAs that are also in the base of this thing. So yeah, had a somewhat of a successful setup, I would say. Didn't damage the figure, got all the batteries in, which is farther along than I got with the first version of Darth Vader that Hot Toys came out with, the New Hope version. I never got these belt boxes to work on him, so I would say it's a win, even though many of these features I will not use that often. So yeah, so like I said, batteries all installed. I managed not to eat the official Hot Toys silicate pack, so that's good too. So yeah, all right, well let's go ahead and get him lit up, and then it is time for a very, very cool compare and contrast to some previous incantations of Darth Vader. This is going to be great. All right.
Alrighty, and here he is, all lit up in all his glory. His belt box, his environmental chest piece going. Looking absolutely fantastic. Again, these things are kind of a pain in the ass and are almost kind of useless in the sense that they're just such a pain in the ass to turn off and on. And those little tiny batteries are not going to last long. So in that sense, this is sort of a wasted feature, if I'm being honest. If I'm just giving you guys an honest-to-God review, it's kind of a wasted feature. Nevertheless, for this moment in time, this one tiny fleeting moment in time, it does look really, really good. And as you can see, the display stand, I mean, this is the best display stand I've ever seen with any premium figure. or any non-premium figure, honestly, ever. This is a fantastic display stand. The whole thing just really, really works. It just really, really embodies that ultimate reveal at the end of The Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, there is a lot to love here. A lot to love indeed. All right, time for some compare and contrast, and let's wrap this thing up. Alrighty, so here we go. I've got 3 Darth Vaders to show you guys off tonight. I did a little more of an extensive compare and contrast with premium Darth Vader 1/6 scale action figures back last summer during the weekly Hot Toys Hump Day series I ran during the summer, where I actually reviewed this figure right here. This, of course, is the Hot Toys New Hope Darth Vader version 1.0, the very first Darth Vader that Hot Toys actually put out. I did sort of a review on him and compared him to some earlier Vaders, including the original Sideshow Vader, which was not pictured here. I'm just going with the more recent stuff here for tonight. But anyway, so here is Hot Toys version 1.0 Darth Vader from A New Hope, obviously because the robes fit a little differently in A New Hope, and the helmet and dome are a little bit different. And the tusk is actually, one tusk is black, one tusk is silver. That's actually something from the original prop helmet that has found its way into the 1/6 scale genre, especially particularly with premium action figures for screen accuracy. Next, of course, is the 1/6 scale Sideshow Collectibles Darth Vader 2.0. Of course, it has the light up base. It also has a light up chest piece, which is kind of working. These light up as well in the belt box, but my batteries are dying here, so I'm going to try to get through him as fast as possible. But yes, he does light up as well. And then, of course, is the Hot Toys Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader, pictured right here. Let's kind of get these lights down a little bit more for you so you can kind of see that as well. So anyway, here they all are, all 3 together, looking really, really nice. What do you guys think? Are there good things from each, and there's no perfect figure, or is there a perfect figure here? This is close to perfect. I really do believe that. At least I want to believe that, because I'm kind of invested in it, right? Let's get a little more light here. I want to believe this is the perfect Darth Vader, although, again, there's something that kind of bothers me about his helmet, and I just can't quite wrap my brain around it. Again, comments are welcome below in the comment section. What do you guys think? So anyway, there they all are one more time. Boom. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, I am surrounded by Darth Vader awesomeness here, and I hope you have enjoyed this, I would say, rather thorough review of the 1/6 scale Darth Vader from The Empire Strikes Back from Hot Toys, seen right here. This figure is readily available throughout the internet right now, including, of course, SideshowToy.com for a rather large amount of money, right around $267. So if you're so inclined, you got the cheddar, and you want a great Darth Vader figure, he's a good one to go with. I don't know if he's the ultimate Darth Vader figure, as I was hoping for, but nevertheless, again, great figure. It's just, as usual with these Hot Toys figures, it's the electronic applications that just piss me off. And this figure does just that. Still, pretty damn awesome, as you can see. So anyway, well, hey, that's going to wrap up this edition of The Plastic Planet. If you're just finding me for the very first time through this video, and you like this sort of content, you like, watching YouTube videos about higher end, premium action figures and retro, and even some modern, less expensive mass retail action figures. If you just like action figures in general, is the long end, is the short end of it, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button for me. I'd really like to have you each and every week right here on The Plastic Planet. And of course, to all my current and long-time subscribers, including my super subscribers, you guys that are always commenting, always showing up, and always, giving me a good, cheering me on. I just really appreciate you guys as well. All right, guys. Well, like I said, that's going to wrap up this edition of The Plastic Planet. And as we all know, guys, life is so very, very short. So get out there and buy some plastic crap. All right, guys. Later. We are gonna love this thing! Yeah! Alright. Shit. Let me turn this off. Ugh. Oh. Oh, God. how's it going? And welcome to the very first transmission from the Plastic Planet. I am your host, as the intro there alluded to. I am Knick-Knack, and we're gonna have a lot of fun together. And